I was almost an unalive victim. 4 years ago, I developed panic disorder and severe anxiety after a certain situation at work. I started work as a quality control technician on April Fool's Day and I had no kind of high expectation of the job. I worked night shift for about 5 months and then I went to day shift. While working on the night shift, I kept to myself until one day, I met someone from one of the lines after we struck up a conversation about gaming. His name was JF. JF was a pretty good guy and we had a lot of things in common. I went home that night and he popped up as a suggested friend on Facebook, so I decided to add him. When I did, we started talking more at work until he suggested that we should hang out, so we did hang out. Pretty frequently. We were friends for a month at this point and one day, he decided that he was going to introduce me to his girlfriend. She seemed decent at first, super nice, didn't seem to be a judgmental type, so I was cool with her. From then on, I would hang out with him when my kids were spending time with my mother. One time, we were talking at a restaurant and he started to vent to me. Dude, she's such a beach sometimes. The other day, I forgot to take the trash out and she threatened to stab me if I didn't. I've never been in a relationship where someone threatened me, but she's got good intentions, dude. When he said that to me, I was concerned, but of course, we had only been friends for a month, so I thought that maybe he was being morbid jokingly, so I chuckled at him. He gave me a pretty serious look and said, "I'm not joking." She really did. She pulled out a knife and swung it at me. I dodged and had to restrain her until she realized what she was doing and started bawling. That concerned me. Fast forward about 8 months, they're still together and we all hang out pretty regularly, forgetting the things he told me then. One day, we were all talking and he seemed a little off that day, so I asked him what was wrong in front of her. He flashed a smirk and said, "Nothing, dude. I'm just a little tired." He didn't have his eyes on me though. He had them on her when I asked that. When we went to work the next day, I asked him again, "Do you promise to keep this between us?" He told me. Of course I agreed. He said that he was breaking up with her and she went a little crazy. He said that she grabbed her firearm and pointed it at him and said, "If I can't have you then, no one will." He said that he defused the situation and is trying to look for a way out. Not really knowing what to say, I just said, "You'll figure it out, man. If you need somewhere to go then, you can come stay with me until you get her out of the house." Fast forward to another year, he finally decided to leave her fully. When he did, she flipped out again. This time, he told her over text. She said that she was going to find him and unalive him, and he was actually out of work that day with a vacation day. He sent me a text that said, "Hey, let me know if she comes over to work looking for me." That struck me as odd because I had no idea of the situation that was unfolding. She actually did come to our job and she asked me where he was and I said, "I have no idea. I thought he was with you and you guys went out of town or something." All she did was roll up her window and drive off. I called him and told him that she came by and he called the police about it. They had found her up the road with a loaded firearm in the car. 2 months later, he decided to talk to her again, and when he did, he had something to tell me. When he called me, he asked if I had seen her around and I hadn't. He said, "I would take some vacation days if I were you." Dumbfounded, I asked him why. "Because she's out of jail and her cousins are in town trying to find the people she has personal vendettas with. You're one of them." At that point, I was terrified. I grabbed my kids and went out of town. Took 2 weeks off of work. Come to find out, that next day, her and her cousins went to the next town over, and unalived 3 people in an apartment. I got the news about it the day after it happened. The reason why JF knew they were coming after me is because they made a Facebook Messenger group that he was included in and sent a list of names. Everyone regarded it as spam and decided to disregard the message, but he knew what it was. 3 of the names on that list were the people that they unalived. The 4th name on that list was mine. After they found the evidence and he decided to go public about the group and screenshots that he had, they were all charged.